Have you ever woken up and felt like your soul was at war before your feet even hit the floor? Why is it that some people rise like warriors, full of fire and purpose, while others get pulled back into the warm trap of comfort and routine? It's not because one group is luckier. It's not because they're more gifted or blessed with some special energy. No, the real difference is discipline. Relentless, unshakable, uncompromising discipline. And today, you're going to uncover how to develop that inner force that doesn't just push you forward. It transforms you. Stay with this message until the very end, because once this truth takes root in you, you'll stop waking up waiting for motivation and start rising already equipped with power. Every single morning, a silent but fierce battle begins. The moment your eyes blink open, before you even sit up, the whispers begin. Stay in bed, just 5 more minutes. Take it slow today. You've earned it. It's subtle. It's quiet, but this is the first test. The very first war of your day is fought in that in-between space, between who you've been and who you are becoming. And here's the truth, that decision, the choice to rise, is not just about getting up, it's the declaration of who's in charge, you or your excuses, your vision or your feelings. Because your feelings will always crave comfort, but your future, it demands courage. Discipline isn't some abstract virtue reserved for the elite. It's a decision, a rhythm, a habit forged in the dark, long before the spotlight ever finds you. When you stand up before your body says yes, when you move before your mind is convinced, you prove something far greater than strength. You prove authority over yourself. Your mind is not your master, it's your servant. If you train it with compromise, it will learn to justify. If you train it with discipline, it will learn to obey. When you choose discipline in those very first moments, you send a thunderous message to your entire being. I am not led by how I feel. I am led by who I am becoming, and that changes everything. The world outside will constantly offer you comfort, soft choices, easy ways out, shortcuts disguised as success, but that comfort, it's a lie. It's the enemy of greatness. Comfort has robbed more dreams than failure ever could, because those who rise early, who push forward while the rest of the world sleeps, they aren't just chasing goals. They're building legacies. And here's the powerful secret. How you handle the little battles is how you handle the big ones. If you surrender to the snooze button, you're not just buying time. You're selling potential. But when you rise, even groggy, even weary, you plant the seed of victory. And that seed, it grows into confidence, into clarity, into consistency. The first decision of the day is not small. It's the blueprint. It becomes the anchor that steadies you in chaos. It becomes the flame that ignites everything else, not because it's loud, but because it's yours. Winning the morning doesn't require a perfect routine or a 3-hour miracle practice. It requires one thing: ownership. Ownership over your time, ownership over your choices, ownership over who you're choosing to be when no one else is watching. So tomorrow morning, when the alarm sounds and your comfort calls louder, remember this. Each small decision is a brick. Stack them, one by one, and over time, you build a fortress of identity, of power, of unstoppable momentum. And that fortress, it all begins when you rise. There is a fire inside of you. Even on the mornings when you feel tired, even when you doubt it's there, it burns. It's not loud. It's not dramatic, but it waits patiently for your command. And every time you choose discipline over comfort, that fire grows stronger. Every time you silence the voice that says not today, the flame roars louder. But every time you give in, that fire dims. Discipline isn't just a routine, it's fuel. It feeds that flame until it becomes unstoppable. Until no excuse, no fear, no voice of doubt can survive its heat. Imagine this, waking up every day knowing, not hoping, but knowing you've already won the hardest battle before the sun even rises. The power you feel when you take command of your mornings doesn't just affect your day, it reshapes your life. You stop living in reaction to chaos. You stop being tossed by the winds of emotion. You stop blaming time, people, or circumstances. You become the architect of your energy, the leader of your future, because this is what discipline gives you: control. Control over the only battlefield that truly matters, yourself. And what does it take? Not perfection, not luck, just a single, powerful decision, made daily, to rise, to move before you feel ready, to fight for the life waiting beyond the covers, beyond comfort, beyond the lies that whisper you're not enough. Discipline is not magic. It is not a personality trait. It is a tool that anyone can pick up. It is a skill that you can master. So when that moment comes, when the pillow feels the soft, and the excuses start echoing, remind yourself, you're not fighting for a single day of success. You're fighting for a future bursting with purpose. You're fighting for freedom from old patterns, from mediocrity, from regret. If you stay loyal to that fight, if you stack small, consistent wins day by day, the life that once felt like a fantasy becomes your reality. Discipline makes that possible. Not because it feels good, but because it works when feelings fail. Motivation might give you a spark, but discipline builds a fire. And while motivation fades with mood, discipline builds through storms. When the day feels heavy, when your mind screams for comfort, discipline says, let's go anyway. It doesn't ask for permission. It doesn't wait for ideal conditions. It moves. Because the mission matters more than the mood. Here's what most people never realize. Your mind will always try to protect you from discomfort. But the life you want, the legacy you dream of, it lives in discomfort. And every time you push past comfort, every time you rise without needing to feel ready, you send a declaration to your soul. I will not betray my future for today's convenience. Those little wins, those small acts of strength, they build a foundation. While others wait for inspiration, you move. While others hope for the mood to strike, you build momentum. This is what separates the committed from the casual. This is the edge. Discipline doesn't flinch. It doesn't pause for doubt. It doesn't ask, do I feel like it? It simply answers, I'm doing it. And over time, something powerful begins to happen. Your mind shifts. The resistance fades. The thoughts that once held you back begin to fall in line. Why? Because you taught your mind who's in charge, and that right there is the turning point. The day your mind stops fighting you and starts fighting with you. That's where transformation begins, not in rare bursts of hype, but in the quiet grind of showing up again and again and again. Dreams are not built on feelings, they're built on choices, hard choices, early choices. Choices made when no one is watching and everything inside you says, give up, but you don't. You rise, you decide, you build. Because you know, the mind, like the body, grows under resistance. And every hard morning is a weight you choose to lift. Every yes to discipline is a brick added to your foundation. Comfort never made anyone strong, but discipline? Discipline builds warriors, and you, my friend, are becoming one. Greatness is not built in ease. It is carved, slowly, painfully, and with precision, through the tools of discipline. Every hard morning you push through, every day you choose grit over comfort. You are chiseling strength into your spirit. You are shaping a version of yourself who refuses to settle, who refuses to bow to weakness, who rises even when everything says stay down. These are not just moments of effort, they are messages to your future. Messages that say, I'm committed, I'm willing, I'm ready to pay the price. Because there is always a cost. You either pay the price of discipline now, or you will pay the price of regret forever. Discipline costs time. It costs effort, but regret costs everything. It steals peace. It haunts dreams. It whispers what if in the silence of missed opportunities. So choose your pain wisely. Every small act of effort, every yes to movement, every no to laziness is another brick in the fortress of your future. And if you skip one day, that wall becomes weaker. But if you stay consistent, day after day after day, that wall becomes a stronghold, unshakable, impenetrable. This is how you transform your life, not by waiting for some grand breakthrough, but by stacking quiet, courageous decisions one upon another until your spirit becomes unbreakable. You're not weak, you're just untrained. And training takes time, but every morning you rise, you are rewriting your story. You are retraining your mind to obey, to endure, to lead. And here's what's beautiful. Discipline doesn't always stay hard. Eventually, it becomes who you are. It becomes part of your identity. You won't need to force it. You'll flow with it. You won't dread mornings. You'll command them. So before the day floods in, before the world starts screaming for your attention, get still, get clear. Who are you? Why are you doing this? What is the fire that drives you? The dream too sacred to let die, because that dream, it's fragile. It needs protection. If you don't guard it, the noise of life will crush it. If you don't feed it, your own doubts will starve it. But each morning is a new opportunity, a fresh start. A moment to look yourself in the mirror and say, I remember who I am. I remember what I'm building. Picture that future. Picture it until it stirs something deep in your bones. Let it burn through every excuse. Let it silence every fear. Because when your vision is stronger than your resistance, you move. When your why is louder than your fatigue, you don't need motivation. You have conviction. This is how clarity leads. The way. Start your day not in reaction, but in intention. Direct your thoughts, aim your energy, Decide your mindset before the world decides it for you. Dreams are not kept alive by hope, they're kept alive by discipline, by action, by the moments when no one's watching, and you still choose to do the hard thing while the rest of the world sleeps. You rise while others make excuses. You move while most wait to feel ready. You act. This is how you gain ground in silence. This is how you build a life worth remembering, not through luck, but through consistency. Hold your dreams like fire in your hands. Let them burn away the distractions. Let them ignite your path through the darkness. Because when you rise with purpose, when you stand rooted in your why, no setback can destroy you. No failure can define you. A focused mind can overcome anything. But it must be fed, it must be trained, daily. Feed it with your vision. Fuel it with your determination. Protect it like your destiny depends on it, because it does. You weren't created to drift, you weren't designed to settle, you were built to rise, to build, to win. Discipline your mornings and watch your entire life shift. Success is not luck, it's not magic. It is forged in the silence when no one sees and you still show up. It belongs to those who don't wait to feel ready. It belongs to those who get up when it's boring, when it's painful, when it's hard. And now, it belongs to you, the ones who rise when no one's watching, the ones who push forward without applause. They are the ones the world eventually cannot ignore, because success doesn't chase the loudest. It rewards the most consistent, not those who move only when they feel like it, but those who move especially when they don't. Understand this: success is not some magical moment. It is not a lightning strike. It is quiet. It is repetitive. It is built in the still hours, stacked like bricks through early mornings, through tired afternoons, through the nights when quitting feels easier than continuing. Discipline isn't glamorous. It's not viral. It doesn't get posted, but it wins. It shows up when the bed feels like heaven, when the world feels like a weight, when your mind offers every sweet excuse, and in that moment, your decision becomes your destiny, because the distance between who you are now and who you dream of becoming, it's not talent, it's not luck. It's found in small moments. In the moment you start even when you're exhausted. In the moment you focus even while the world distracts. In the moment you take one more step even when your knees feel like buckling. These are the invisible battles. And make no mistake, these battles count. Win them, and you don't just win a day. You win a new version of yourself. Every act of discipline is a seed that grows slowly but surely, into something unshakable, into something unstoppable, into you, fully awakened, fully alive, fully aligned with your calling, the dream you carry. It doesn't need a miracle, it needs your consistency. It needs 1,000 tiny steps made in silence. It needs effort without reward, progress without recognition. It needs your faithfulness. That is how the ordinary becomes extraordinary. Discipline transforms hope into achievement. It turns imagination into legacy. It creates a life that no longer begs for validation, because it commands respect from others and, more importantly, from within. There will be days, and you know them well, when the fire feels cold, when the spark disappears, when motivation is nowhere to be found. Those days, they are sacred. They are where warriors are made. Anyone can move when they're energized. Anyone can work when they're inspired. But only the few, the rare, push forward when the soul feels heavy. When the heart whispers, give up. Discipline means you don't wait for the feeling, you create it, you summon it through movement. You pull momentum out of the void. Every act without emotion is a declaration of purpose. I am not ruled by weakness. I am led by mission. When you rise tired, you prove to yourself you're trustworthy. When you rise broken, you prove to yourself you are unbreakable. When you rise afraid, you prove you are courageous. Your actions teach your mind who you are. Not your intentions, not your words, your actions. Every disciplined morning adds a new chapter to the story of your transformation, and let me tell you, that story is not written in comfort. Pain fades, fatigue passes, doubt drifts, but what remains is strength, real, soul-deep strength. Strength that becomes part of your identity, part of your weaponry, part of your legacy. True greatness isn't forged under spotlights. It is born in the shadows, in silence, in solitude. When no one is watching, and you move anyway, that's the foundation of champions. That's how you not only master mornings, but master your life. Because the greatest enemy you'll ever face, it's not out there, it's within. It's the voice that says, stay safe. It's the whisper that says, play small. It's the fear that tells you, comfort is enough, but comfort is not your calling. Growth requires you to break out of the walls you've lived behind. It demands you confront the pain. It demands you stand face to face with your own excuses and say, "Not today." Every time you push past your limits, every time you rise when your mind screams stop, you stretch the edges of what's possible. Most people never leave the prison they built in their own mind. They listen to the lies, they believe the doubts, and they stay stuck. But not you. You weren't made to shrink. You weren't made to settle. You were born to shatter limits. Fear will always say, "You can't." Doubt will always whisper, "You're not enough," but they are not your truth. You are the proof. That strength is built in silence. That greatness is made in discipline. That your limits are just the starting line. What you fear, what you doubt, they are not truths. They are illusions, shadows cast by a mind that has forgotten its own strength. But yes. You are not your fears. You are the voice that speaks louder than fear. You are the fire that burns stronger than doubt. You are the spirit that refuses to be broken by excuses. The door to freedom. It doesn't open for the timid. It swings wide for those who walk through resistance. For those who stare into the fire and take the next step anyway. The pain you're feeling today is not punishment, it's preparation. It's carving out space inside you for the strength you'll need tomorrow, and each time you keep walking forward, even when the weight is unbearable, you step closer to the life that was meant for you because you weren't born to play small. You weren't created to cower in comfort. You are here to expand, to fight, to rise beyond the version of yourself that once settled. And here's the truth, there is a version of you, a braver, stronger, more relentless version, waiting on the other side of your morning discipline, a version of you that no longer asks, "Can I do this?" Because they've proven they can. Day after disciplined day, you don't find greatness, you build it. One morning at a time, one bold decision at a time, each refusal to hit snooze is a brick. Each act of consistency is cement, and brick by brick, you rise. Your future, it's not a gift waiting to be handed to you. It's a fortress waiting to be claimed. And every morning you choose to discipline your thoughts and body. You chip away at that fortress door until it finally opens. Success isn't something you own. It's something you rent, and the rent is due every single morning. You pay for it with your effort, with your focus, with your will. Most people dream under soft pillows and warm sheets. But few have the fire to rise and chase those dreams before the sun even rises. That's the difference. That's the line between the average and the unstoppable. Between those who wish and those who win, because discipline isn't something you can borrow. It can't be gifted, it can't be faked, it must be earned. Earned in sweat, in silence, in sacrifice. Your future self, they are watching you. The life you dream of. It's not just hoping you show up, it's depending on it. Every time you honor your alarm. Every time you say yes to growth and no to comfort. You're keeping a sacred promise to yourself, and those promises stack. They build. They form a foundation so strong that regret can't survive. The world may not see you yet. It may not clap for your quiet progress. But trust this, if you stay the course, one day the world will have no choice but to notice. Because discipline speaks loudest in the results, and when you build your life on discipline, the life that once seemed impossible becomes the life you wake up to every day, but none of it works unless you train your mind. Train it to rise even when it wants to rest, to choose effort over ease, to face resistance and push anyway. Yes, your mind will fight you. Yes, it will resist, but every time you win that fight, you place another stone in the foundation of unstoppable strength. And make no mistake, the road to victory is not a straight line. It twists, it tests, it demands. There will be setbacks. There will be days when you question if it's working, but here's the truth, it is. Every small step matters. Every morning you rise instead of retreat, you're becoming stronger, sharper, more focused. You're not just chasing a dream, you're becoming the kind of person who catches it. Discipline isn't about perfection. It's about persistence. The only way to lose is to quit, and you're not that person. Even the slow steps matter. Even the tired days count, because forward is forward. Every time you rise when it's hard, you take one more step away from the past and one step closer to the life you've always deserved. Discipline is not about being perfect. It's about being persistent. It's about showing up every single day, no matter what mood you're in, no matter how heavy your mind feels. It's about rising even when your spirit is tired and your motivation is missing, because it's in those exact moments, those quiet, unseen battles where the transformation truly happens. When no one is watching and you push through anyway. That's when you begin to unlock the kind of strength most people only dream of. Yes, it might sound strange, how can discipline lead to freedom? But that's the paradox most people never understand. The more disciplined you become, The more control you gain, not just over your schedule, but over your entire life. You stop being pulled in every direction by distractions and impulses. You stop living by emotion and start living by intention. You stop being a slave to circumstances and start being the creator of your future. Each time you commit to mastering your mornings, you're planting seeds that grow into lifelong strength. You are shaping not just your day, but your destiny. Discipline removes the excuses. It clears away the fog of doubt. It silences the noise that holds most people hostage. And while the world is filled with temptations, shortcuts, escapes, and the easy way out, discipline reminds you, you don't have to go that way. Because every moment spent drifting in distraction is a moment stolen from your greatness. But every moment spent in discipline, that's an investment in the life you truly desire. This isn't just about physical discipline, waking early or sticking to your routine. It's mental discipline, emotional discipline. It's choosing your thoughts instead of letting your thoughts choose you. It's choosing your focus instead of letting distractions decide your path. With discipline, you're not just reacting to life anymore, you're directing it. You are setting the course instead of being swept away by the current. You already hold within you the power to reshape your entire life, that version of you you've always imagined. Stronger, sharper, more fearless. It's not just a fantasy. It's waiting, and discipline is the key to reaching it. But that version of you doesn't come from a single burst of motivation. It comes from doing the work day in and day out. Even when you don't feel like it, especially when you don't feel like it. The truth is, most people will keep searching for shortcuts, hoping for the magic fix, the overnight result, the one secret that will unlock it all. But greatness doesn't respond to hope. It responds to consistency. It rewards those who are willing to wake up early, push through fatigue, and do what's necessary even when it's inconvenient. Every morning you show up for yourself. You're chiseling away at the gap between who you are and who you were born to be. And no, you won't always see the results right away, but with time, that slow shift becomes undeniable. One day, you'll look back and realize you're no longer the same person. You've become the kind of individual who doesn't break under pressure, who doesn't quit when it gets hard. You've become resilient, disciplined, unstoppable. Discipline is not a prison. It's the doorway. It's the key to unlocking your future, to stepping into your power, to finally living the life you were meant for. Without it, the days slip by and so do your dreams, but with it, every day becomes a step forward. Every decision becomes a building block. You stop standing still and you start moving with purpose. The truth is, every single morning is a fresh chance, a new opportunity to rise. But that opportunity doesn't wait. It won't ask if you're ready. It appears when you act, when you stop chasing comfort and start chasing purpose. The world will always try to pull you away. It will offer distraction, ease, comfort. But discipline, that's what brings you back to the path. That's what keeps you moving when everything else says stop. The mind will always whisper that you have more time, that you can start tomorrow. But the truth, tomorrow is not promised. Tomorrow is a mirage that keeps too many people stagnant. The only time you truly own is now. The only moment you can command is this very one. And the only decision that has real power is the one you choose to make today. Discipline isn't about waiting until you feel ready. It's not about perfection or flawless execution. It's about showing up consistently, courageously, even when it's difficult, especially when it's difficult. It's about pushing through the resistance when comfort is begging you to stay still. It's about saying, I'll move anyway. When you live like that, you begin building a life that is meaningful not just to others, but to yourself. Those small, intentional actions you take today, they will compound, they will multiply, quietly, steadily, they will stack on top of one another until one day you look around and realize you've built something extraordinary, a life that reflects your strength, a future shaped by your commitment, a story forged by every moment you chose effort over ease. So don't underestimate the power of small choices. Don't belittle the mornings when you show up tired or the evenings when you decide to keep going instead of giving up. That's the real power. The power to build something lasting, something solid, something true. Your future begins not in the distant someday but in the decisions you make right now. So choose with intention, choose with vision, choose the path that leads to the version of you you've always known was possible. Discipline is the bridge between the life you live and the life you long for. Without it, your dreams stay locked in the realm of maybe someday, but with discipline, those dreams begin to breathe. They start to take shape. They evolve from distant wishes into clear, attainable goals, from abstract hopes into powerful, actionable plans. That's what discipline does. It transforms not just what you do, but who you become. Every single morning, you are given a choice: step forward or stand still. Chase your purpose or chase distractions. The decision might seem small but repeated daily, it shapes your entire destiny. Every time you choose to discipline your thoughts, your time, your habits, you are laying down momentum. And momentum, that's the secret fuel of champions. It's what keeps you moving forward when motivation runs dry. It's what carries you over the hills of hardship and through the valleys of doubt. Discipline isn't a gift you stumble upon. It's something you build slowly, deliberately. One morning at a time. It grows in the quiet places when no one is watching, when no one is clapping, when no one is there to remind you why you started. But you remember who you're becoming. You remember why you can't go back. And so you keep going. Trust that every effort matters. Trust that each moment of discipline is a seed planted deep in the soil of your life. It might not bloom right away, but it will bloom. One day, you'll look back and realize every hard morning, every tired push, every time you chose the hard thing instead of the easy path, it all added up. It wasn't wasted. It was working, and it brought you here. You are not your past. You are not your feelings. You are not your fears. You are what you choose to do, especially when no one's watching. Especially when the world is loud and trying to pull you in every direction. Discipline is what separates the dreamers from the builders. It's what takes potential and turns it into power. It's not glamorous, and it's rarely easy, but it is worth it because the path to greatness has never been paved with shortcuts. It's carved with sweat, with setbacks, with relentless forward motion. And through all of it, through the resistance, the hardship, the days when you feel like quitting, you are evolving into your greatest self, the person you're becoming. They're worth every ounce of struggle. They're worth every moment of sacrifice. Even when your progress feels invisible, even when the finish line feels far away, keep going. Because the discipline you invest in today becomes the strength that carries you tomorrow. And the world might not see it now, but soon, it won't be able to look away. Discipline is the hidden force behind every success story. It's not talent. It's not luck. It's the will to rise when it's hard, to show up when it's boring, to persist when it's painful. And when you build that kind of mindset, you open the door to a future beyond anything you thought possible. There is a life of possibility waiting for you just on the other side of your habits, your choices, your daily acts of discipline. You are not a prisoner of fate. You are the author of your future. Every morning you rise, you hold the pen. Every action you take, every time you silence distraction and choose focus, you are writing the story of who you are becoming. Discipline is not restriction. It's not punishment. It is the very thing that sets you free. It is the tool that sharpens your purpose, that turns intention into action, that transforms potential into power. When you make the choice every single day to train your mind before the world demands your attention, you give yourself the greatest gift, authority over your own life. This power doesn't come from luck. It doesn't appear in flashes of inspiration. It is built through repetition. It is forged in the early hours when no one's watching. It is earned each time you rise before comfort catches you. Each time you take one more step forward when resistance pulls you back, you will be tested. The journey will stretch you, break you open, reveal your doubts and insecurities, but it will also reveal your strength. The rewards of discipline don't always show up right away. They don't come wrapped in applause, but over time, they compound, and one day, when you look back, you'll realize it was the quiet mornings, the unseen victories, the small yet powerful decisions that built a life you're proud to live. When others hit snooze, you rise. When others search for shortcuts, you stay the course. That's the difference. That's what separates the average from the extraordinary. Discipline isn't glamorous, but it is life-changing. It gives you back your power. It gives you back your time. It gives you back your voice. It lets you say, "This is who I choose to be." So make the choice every single morning to show up for yourself, not just for today, but for the future you've dreamed of, the version of you who lives with strength, with clarity, with purpose. That person is not a fantasy. That person is waiting to be built through effort, through endurance, through unwavering commitment. And when you build them brick by brick, day by day, you begin to live the life that once felt out of reach, a life shaped by courage, a life driven by vision, a life that reflects the truth. You showed up. You did the work. You didn't quit. This is your moment. This is your power. The world may try to distract you, delay you, discourage you, but your discipline is stronger. Your fire is deeper, and your destiny is worth the fight. So rise, decide, commit, because your future isn't waiting around, it's already being Shaped by what you choose right now, make every morning count. And watch as the impossible slowly becomes your reality.